Hi, it's Jan Johnson, and thank you so much for tuning in. I'm really glad that you did. And today what I want to talk to you about is a prophet in your own land and the impossibility to be that. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, but maybe you have heard this analogy before, that you can't be a prophet in your own land. And I'll share with you my experience with this. And that is years ago when I was in my very first network marketing company, there were a couple of people, several people as a matter of fact, that I really admired that were leaders when I came into the business. And when they would come to town, everybody would listen to exactly what they had to say. Now these leaders weren't necessarily my upline, but they were leaders within the company. And so even though I would share with my team or my downline what it was that I thought that they should do, or how they should do something and how we should work together, etc., etc. And I would basically even mimic the identical words that I heard these other leaders say. When these other leaders came to town, it was amazing to me that when we walked out of the meeting, how I could hear my own team talking. Did you hear what Pat said? Did you hear what Steve said? Did you hear what Jordan said? Did you hear what Phil said? And I'm thinking, it's the same thing I've been saying. But when they heard it from someone else that came from afar, it was like they were a prophet from another land. And I couldn't be a prophet in my own land. Now the biggest acknowledgement that I had of that is one time in Denver when I was asked to speak for the first time in front of a very large group, because I had reached a certain level very quickly. And so people came from all over, but happened to be to Denver. And there were about 800 people in the room. And so I got up and I spoke. And when I got up and I spoke, I actually remember getting a standing ovation. It felt so good. I felt like I really did well, and I wanted to, and I practiced a lot. And everybody was very excited. I remember my family was there, and I was so proud in front of them. And then what was interesting is that one of the gurus who was emceeing that particular meeting asked to fly me back to their home state and have me speak to their team. Oh, did I feel honored, because that was the guru that my team listened to all the time. So I was flown back to their state. I stood in front of their group, and I talked and just said like I did and how I said things. And then that person shared with me later how their team was saying, did you hear what Jan said? Did you hear how she said that? Oh, Jan said this or Jan said that. So now I was a prophet in their land. And what felt good was the fact that I looked up so much to the person that had invited me there, but it gave me this realization that it's more than newness. It's more that they're not hearing it from, same thing you hear from your friend is different when you hear from your mom and dad kind of thing. And so a way that you can help your team within your organization is to do some of that cross-pollination. Get people from other teams to maybe do a webinar with you, to do a Google Hangout with you, to do a conference call with you, or come to your area and you agree to go to theirs. Because that invigorating cross-pollination will help the teams when you're working together, just because it's a factor of human nature, if nothing else. So if this helped you, and I really hope it did, please comment and share. Thank you so much. Have an awesome night.